Hello, viewers out there. Welcome to another interesting episode of Agribusiness Talk with Dr. Peter Daniel. As we all know that this show is a show that is set out to share with you agribusiness opportunity, bring to the fore various value chain in the crop and the livestock and fishery sector where you can invest and make money in Nigeria. Make dollars, make genuine agric money, the next oil money. So today in the house, I have with me Dr. Longbebe. He is a lecturer at the Department of Agricultural Economics in West Abuja, and he's also a fish farmer. He's an expert in the field. Though an agricultural economist, is a practitioner and has his own fish farming business and has done this for some years. So I brought him to the house to talk to you, talk to us, and we'll share ideas and brainstorm so you can learn about it and be encouraged to go into fish farming. Doctor, please introduce yourself to the viewers.
Good evening to you all. I think I need no further introduction as they have said it all. I'm Olongwebe Ahmad by name. I'm from Kwara State. I lecture at University of Abuja, specifically Department of Agricultural Economics. I've been to lecturing for a while now. As agricultural economist, I'm also a farmer, especially in catfish farming to be specific. I have other things I'm into, but for now, I can say I have a wide experience in catfish production in Kwara State. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, what we'll be talking to experiences we'll be talking about today, we'll be drawing in Kwara State. Mind you, catfish can be produced in any part of Nigeria once you have the right resources, basically water, available to you, and you get the right fingerlings or fries depending on the route you go. You can do your pond, whatever kind of pond, once they're available water, you can do it in any part of Nigeria. But now we'll be drawing in from experience from Kwara State so that you, if you're in Kwara State or in the middle belt of Nigeria, you can look this as a viable enterprise and put your money inside as a youth for those in the diaspora and foreign investors that are looking at bringing some importation, bringing some foreign direct investment into Nigeria. Catfish is a way to go. Just by way of background, Nigeria spent around 94, the last statistics I have, 94 billion naira to import fish to supplement for the production we have. It goes further to show that the current population of 223 million persons don't have enough catfish or fish generally to meet the requirement. It means that there is still the demand gap. We are still spending money to import. We are still using Naira, the already weak Naira, to pursue more dollar to buy, to import fish into Nigeria. Meanwhile, we have a lot of rivers. Nigeria is blessed with River Niger, River Benue, there's River Kaduna, and other rivers from the Chad Basin down to the south. So why are we not tapping into this viable sector? So in the course of this episode, we'll talk a little about the economy, the demand and supply gap in the catfish particularly. We'll talk about the value chains. There are production, processing, and marketing. We'll talk about the scope or scale where you can come in. Uh, must I have a large farm? Must I have a small? Way can you come in? Then we'll identify some of the challenges that are there, production risk, we want to call it, or marketing risk. So as we identify it, we also profile a near hands-on experience that you can use to, that is a solution that you can implement to tackle it. Then at the end of the episode, we'll now talk to next step. What do I do going forward? If I've watched this video to this part and I want to take decision, we'll tell you a little on where you can source for fund, how you can deal with insurance, just a little. And I also refer you to the other episode where I dealt with agricultural insurance. I also refer you to the other episode where I dealt with how to source for funds for your agricultural enterprise. So you can look in that video, but even in this video, we'll talk a little on this aspect. Then we'll give you next step. What do I do now, or what can I do now with the 100,000 I have? So, doctor, let's start with a little of the economics. What will you say about the fish industry in Nigeria?
Well, fish industry in Nigeria is a very wide area. As you know, it's one area in aquaculture, which simply means that it's also a subset of aquaculture. Nigeria is very blessed. It's very, very blessed to the extent that if you decide within the Nigeria setting now that okay, we don't want to export anything, we are blessed to that extent. But the challenge we are having is that we don't really know the micro or macro aspect of the business very well. Or probably we even know it, but the implementation is a major challenge we have. So in that respect, let's see, that's for Nigeria as a whole. In Kwara State, Kwara State is very blessed in the sense that when you look at those fishes inside the river that people normally go for fishing, the same water body that they use to strive in their natural habitat, it is the same one they are used for domestication. In the sense that Kwara State is blessed with Asa River. That Asa River is the source of water for all other people in Kwara State today for them to be going to catfish farming. Is a very big one because it favors them in the sense that the temperature of that water suits their natural habitat. Even the pH is very good for them. So if they are blessed with that, that's one of the things they are harnessing the natural resources they have is what they are using to harnessing this catfish of a thing. So it's a very valuable one, very, very valuable in the sense that no matter how much you put into it, definitely with good management practice, when you dot your I's and you cross your T's, definitely you are going to get your own. And it's also a very competitive as well. It's not a monopolistic business. It's very competitive in the sense that even to the extent that there's no restriction whatsoever. If you go there today that, oh, I want to invest in it, you are welcome. And if you decide, oh, I'm exiting, you are also welcome. But those people who knows the intricacies of it very well, they know that, oh, it's a very, very viable business and they can go into it.
Okay, so if from what you have said, Doctor, what that means is that the market in Kwara State does not have any restriction. It's free entry, free exit.
Yes.
So, and you also have the rights. You have a monopolistic power or a monopoly power to decide your price based on your whatever cost you must have incurred and to decide the price you put in.
Yes.
Okay, so of course, statistics show that we are still importing catfish. Nigeria as it is, can Kwara State feed itself in catfish production and extend, even if not the whole of Nigeria, to the middle belt of Nigeria?
They are doing that already. If you look at statistically now, Kwara State is one of the leading catfish producer in this country. The quantity of fish or catfish they sell in Kwara State today daily, it exceeds 30 million naira every day. Because you have in Kwara State, you have 16 local governments. And let's take Hassa, for instance, the local government, whereby we have a lot of catfish farmers there. We have in Ilorin West, we have in the South, even in Ofa, we have. So you can now see that, oh, this Kwara State alone, in fact, you can't say you are buying catfish from outside Kwara. It's not possible because those catfish farmers, they are so much that they are feeding the state on its own. Not that Kwara State alone. Even their main target, their main buyer is from Abuja here.
Oh,
if you go to any farm now, when you see that they will even come with buses, they will come there. By the time you are, where did you come from? Abuja, Abuja. So it means even their target is not even Kwara per se.
Wow.
But Abuja is there where the demand comes from in high percentage.
Okay. So what I can draw from that is that the market, though not saturated currently based on the people participating in the activity, that is the production activity.
Yes.
It's still open to new entrants.
Yes.
So new entrant can come in.
Of course.
And just that the new entrant may be looking into other destinations aside from Kwara to maximize their sales so that they can get more places to sell. Of course, they can sell in different
Of course, you can
markets,
say in
and
other states.
since there is no restriction as to movement
Not at all.
of this. Okay, that's awesome. I hope someday that it can even feed the whole of Nigeria. That would be good. But are there any government programs supporting catfish currently in Kwara State, maybe from the state government or local government?
Currently, none. Currently, but I think even last year, yes, you can get it precisely. His Excellency Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak had a meeting with them,
Okay.
with these catfish farmers, and I think with the meeting they had a robust meeting to the extent that they are having a plan,
Okay.
a plan so that the interventions that they can benefit from the state, and not also because it's a form of internal revenue, generating revenue for them
For the state,
as well, for the
yes,
states.
for the state
In
as
as
well.
much that they are putting these things that they are supposed to put in place for them. So I think last year they had a meeting with them. So, and there is a program I think they want to launch in terms of it specifically because they have been launching a lot of programs for small scale, medium, or the other enterprise. But for catfish, I think they are into it now.
Okay. Okay, that would be awesome because we've had a lot of programs, many programs targeted at the north, some in the south, and all, and they are all targeted into crop and a little going to livestock, talk more of fishery. So it's a good one to hear that the governor is looking in that direction, and that would be a good one. Okay, so for our viewers, for someone in the diaspora, who probably is from Kwara and is in London, and they say, okay, where do I put some of my money? And now I'm looking at catfish. So what value chain? Because I know from my little elementary knowledge, there were producers, there are marketers, there are also processors. So what are the value chain that are there in the catfish enterprise? What value chain are there?
The value chain, you can say it's that you have identified so far in Kwara State. We talk about the supply input.
Okay.
We talk about the producer. We talk about the processor. We talk about the marketers. We talk about consumers.
Okay.
So let's just give us a brief about how this value chain, the connectivity, the linkage between of all these things.
Yes.
As the supply input, those are the people they supply the inputs they use in terms of catfish production. For instance, we talk about the feed itself. The feed they are giving this is a part of the supply input. Even the net they use is part of it. Even the land they use is part of the supply input. Okay, let me ship you something about that land issue now. Some Farquhar is so blessed to the extent that you don't have to have a huge capital before you can go into it, especially when it comes to land acquisition. What do I mean by that? If you have your money, you can say, okay, I want to buy a land, and you start it. But at the same time, what about those people who don't have enough
to buy a
land? There's also a room for them because some they can say, okay, I want to lease. They have constructed the pond already.
So they will lease out the pond.
They will just live for a year.
Oh, beautiful.
And you pay a certain amount of money. So you have access to everything. So it's very easy. So regardless of the capital you have, you can easily go into it and start something. And then you start your life. So that is about input supply. So when you talk about even for that input supply, you see some people, what they are into, they are even into brew stocks. Now that, okay, this is what we are doing. We are the one that will be selling all these fingerling juvenile.
Yeah.
So those are even their area. They are not even go to into this table size of the thing. No. So they are there. So we talk about the producers. These producers, they normally produce for table size, and they even produce for smoking. We don't want the smoke because not everybody will say, "Oh, let me go to the market. I want to go and buy a table size of some."
Yes.
They like the smoke one, and the duration is different. If you are going to for table size, currently now, initially you go for like 6 months, but currently now they have exceeded to 7 to 8 months.
Okay.
Because they always have a target that, okay, I want it to be certain kg. Do you get it?
Yes.
And the more you feed them, And the more you provide a good water for them,
for them.
the more they will strive very well and you get your desired
Target.
target. So they are there. So, and if they smoke, we talk about 3 to 4 months. You just rear them for 3 to 4 months, they will smoke it, they will sell. Because there are some people what they like is smoked catfish. They will buy a lot of. In fact, some people you say them by the time they want to come and sell to those because they have different types. They have the big size, medium size, small size of this. So some people will even come. They can be retailer, they can even be wholesale. They even come. Okay, please just sell a bath of catfish. Even some will say, okay, give us 5 rubber. So it's because of the size. Because you know when you give them the feed they needed, it's not everyone will become level 2 kg, 3 kg. So you have different sizes as well. Although you are giving them the same resources, it's like human being. No matter how you feed some people,
They will not grow.
they will not grow. So
if I gather from what you have said thus far, uh, our viewers who want to invest in the catfish subsector of the aquaculture or fishery industry can look into production. And in production, you have said that, just to recap on what you have said, that they can always lease or hire or rent a pond. That is one. And they can come into production of probably use broodstock to produce a juvenile and fries. They can stay in that level, or they can buy that juvenile and fries and produce tabletop. That is a table size fish. That is for the production. Then the next thing they can also do is if you are not going to stay in production and you're coming into processing, you can now look at, okay, am I going to process into smoked fish? That is, you are going to smoke in that with the absence of soot, right? No soot. If I understand well, they do with they use a smoking kiln. It's just majorly heat. You are going to smoke without the guts.
yes,
And
got everything.
and of course you don't need to now wait for 6 months.
No, not at all. Not
Just
at all. If
okay.
what most farmers do is that some they give, like, let's assume that a farmer has, let's say, 5 ponds for instance. They may say, okay, 3 ponds, I'm going to rear it to table size. While the other two, I will just rear them for 3 to 4 months. Whereby some farmers even smoke themselves. They have a smoking kiln in their farm. They will smoke, they will deguss, they will process, they will wash all those process, they will do it neatly and okay. They will sell. Whereby some people, they are not even farmers to say. They are just buyers. They will come. They too, they have it in their various houses
Where they smoke.
Okay. Just don't come and buy at 3 4 months. They'll go there to do everything and they will sell.
Okay.
So that's another area where someone can even look into. In fact, some people even export it outside the country, whereby they know the standard they are looking for, and they will go, okay, this immediately they know, okay, this is the standard. Okay, how are we going to meet up the standard? So at the end of the day, in fact, some of them they use there's one leaf, what do you call it? I can't remember the name now. So to process it better because of the taste.
Okay.
So they do all these things. So they will export and they get their money. And if they want to sell it around the area, they normally have a lot of outlets. Even restaurants, any other places, they normally give it out to go and sell to them. They have steady supply of it and they buy.
Okay. Okay. So we have identified about three segments. Production two, that is, you are producing the maybe the F1. Don't know if that's how call if it works, but fries and juvenile. Then another angle of production is that you're producing table size. If you are going to come into processing, you can uh, buy and process, or the farmer can dualize as both the producer and the processor.
Yes.
Or what you need now is a smoking kiln, and you may, of course, if you want to go into that, seek consultancy and expert service to know the moisture content, the moisture requirement, to know how the packaging, the heat, so that you don't you have the right product for the right market. You also want to go into exporting, you may also need to seek consultancy or seek advisory service on how to export, the channel you use to export. to get FX earning, because I trust you. Some most Nigerians abroad, we need this for to us always get the local delicacies and produce our local meal. So, doctor, aside that, I think there was a time. This time I was in Ibadan. There was a farm I went to on catfish, and I discovered that aside smoking, one of the things they did there was to produce powder. It was like powder.
Okay.
So what they do there is, at the process of smoking, some of the ones that may break and all that they don't want to add, so they reduce it to small crumbs. Of course,
like they would for seasoning.
Yes, they remove all the bones.
Yes.
So it's small like that. Yes. You can easily
like crayfish.
Yes.
They do it for seasoning.
Okay.
They sell it in powder.
Yeah.
That's another form of
processing
and packaging that someone can even explore and even get it. They grind it very well. Yeah. So in fact, some people they will tell you, I don't use seasoning. The only seasoning I use is fish. They just sprinkle it on their soup and they are free to go.
Because I know I saw that they had different. So some people come for the powdered ones. Some come for the ones that like stockfish or poroko.
In fact, there are some the way they even package it. They will even the bones. You will not see any bones.
Yes.
Just the fried
fish,
the flesh. You just see it.
Okay,
but well packaged.
That's awesome. So, of course, now this is being investing in the catfish subsector. In Kwara State, opportunities that are there. We've explored the opportunities, of course. But can someone come in supplying inputs? I don't know, inputs, maybe, are they chemicals they need? I don't know if they are chemicals they need or there's no treatment at all.
There is treatment.
Okay.
What we normally do it the local way.
Okay.
And very, very effective.
Okay.
For instance, if you want to stock, before you want to stock your maybe juvenile or even fingerling.
Yeah.
But what people normally do, they normally get juvenile instead of fingerling.
Okay.
Because the truth of the matter is that when you go for juvenile, the mortality rate is always reduced because they are strong enough to that storm, unlike fingerling.
Okay.
So that's just the major thing. So what we normally do is that by the time you call it fertilization of the pond.
Okay.
Whereby you have the water there, then we sprinkle salt to disinfect.
Okay, salt is enough to disinfect.
Yes, it will perfect. Use salt to disinfect any other things that is inside the pond. So you do that. After that, you flush away that water. So it's a form of disinfectant inside the pond. Then you flush it. Then you put the fresh water, and then you stock your juvenile or even
So that's beautiful. But meanwhile, if you are a novice in it and you want to go seek expert counsel so that you don't lose your fund. I had an experience with a friend of mine, was an NYC, during NYC, he got a grant to start a farm in KB State and he came back to Abuja. And one of the things, no, KB is also good with fish. They have the river, that's where they do the argungu, right? The argungu fish. And he bought some fish in gallon. Though I don't have that vast experience in catfish. And I was like, okay, you cannot pour this catfish, say you pour it inside well. That he was told he can pour inside well. It will grow, it will reproduce, then he will be harvesting. So he came, he poured inside the well, he was throwing food. So after some weeks, he was seeing the fish responding. After some time, they were now floating one. Till the 2 gallon of fish he bought went. So I'm saying this to say, don't be excited by the influence. They've already told me it's salt. I'll go and sprinkle salt. Get expert counsel. Reach out if you need expert counsel. You can always reach out. Reach out.
Let me come in. Let me share my experience when I started. You know, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step.
Yes.
When I started, I had my money. I went into it. I started gradually. But one thing that really helped me, probably because I have a background in agriculture, that has really helped me a lot. And also, it's not something that you know. So you need to seek for for guidance. Seek help for consultants. So there was one day I just started, although I had a knowledge about it, but not practical knowledge to that extent.
Yes.
So one thing that really helped me, I have a friend in the name of Kayode. He's a good friend of mine. So what I did then, I will consult him. Kayode, please come on. This is what is happening. The car just okay, let's go. There was one day I went to farm. Imagine you before prior to that day, everything was fine before I
Yeah.
left the farm because you feed them twice in a day, in the
Yeah.
morning and evening.
Even
So as I go to the farm next day, and I saw that about let's say 20 or 25 of the
fish.
fish were
They
floating
were
dead.
dead.
Ha! I said, what happened? Water was clean, it wasn't dirty. They had their feed yesterday, nothing. I was just looking. I know when you have this feelings that with all this money you are spending, at the end of the day, you are now saying there's no way, there's nothing you can do. I'm saying it authoritatively now. No matter if you have 20 years of experience in catfish, you will always recall mortality.
Mortality.
There's
In
nothing
fact,
you can
in
do about
practice,
that.
we say give 5 to 10% of
Percent of the
mortality,
mortality rate.
but you still recover it when you sell.
Yeah, you definitely. It's not even a problem.
Okay.
It's not a problem. You even you recover it very well.
Okay.
So I was now looking at the pond, something, and I was seeing other fishes. They were there playing all around. I said, Kade, please come. There's a problem. Just come. So when they came, and I said, how many times did you feed them yesterday? I said, twice. Okay. It was just asking a series of questions. I answered. And I said, okay, don't feed them all through today. I was now saying, Kade, what do you mean I should not feed them? I was looking at it as human being that how come you not feed? You not eat, you know the said leave them. Said just give them water. And the way we normally do that, water is very, very important. No. Because even the way the water is going, the inlet that's going inside the pond, there's a way you must do it. Even the outlet, that the way you are flushing the way, there's a way you must do it. All this is technicality. It must be something that you cannot say, okay, I've
You just jump into it.
No. So now you can now advise that don't give them, just give them water. Just pump water for them all through today. I said, Kai, are you sure? So I'm sure. And I said, let's leave it till tomorrow. So the following day, when I went to the farm, they found no mortality at all, nothing whatsoever. And I said, Kai, what happened? He said, you see what happened that yesterday? It was you have overfed them.
So overfeeding is not a
Overfeeding
problem.
is a problem in catfish farming. You will be thinking that they are eating, because they are glutinous in nature. They want to eat,
they will
and
eat
and eat. But the way they are eating can be injurious to them as well. Because especially, in fact, it normally occurs when you have a limit, you are limiting the water that's into the pond. Because as they are playing with the water, as they are going from one place to another, that's how they will even convert the feed into flesh. That's how they will even digest it. Immediately they don't go around like that, is a problem to them. So I was surprised. Oh, overfeeding can even cause. So it needs a really thorough understanding before you can even say, no, I have money. It's beyond having money. So one has to be very careful about it.
But it's practicable, it's doable. So all you just need to do is to seek expert guidance and or have someone around that knows a little about it. I have never thought that overfeeding can be a problem. I just know that by practice or by books, from my little experience, we feed them where I have experience in catfish. We just give them dead carcass of poultry birds that are dead. They just feast
must
on
have been maybe like 6 months old, 7 months.
Once they are at that level,
even give them intestine.
Okay, so once at that level, what we do is all the mortality. We just have someone that's employed. We boil it.
Okay.
So once it boils it and it's heated, we just boil. They'll just remove. You just see bone. The next day we just flush out the bone, and so aside the food they are getting. All right. So now somebody say, I don't have money to. What are the scale? We have talked about the various entry positions you can take. So we have established that you must not even go into production. You can decide to go into processing. You can even decide to go into marketing. Go to where they have already dried it in and have it, and you just find a way to hang around because the market is there.
The market is there. No
I
matter
think
how much
a carton of fish, the one they sell, I think it's around 50,000 now. 50,000. So imagine, and with several sizes, small mix. So when we say small scale, we know agriculture, the small scale, large scale, medium scale. So For fish, how do we classify them in the scale of production?
It depends on the classification you want to go into.
Okay.
But let's go in terms of production, in the sense that the scale of production, let's look at the medium, large, and small. We look at it in terms of the size of the pond and the number of the pond.
Okay.
For instance, someone that has 3 ponds, you can't compare with someone that has 10 ponds.
Sure.
Because even you may even see some that has 1 pond, and you can't even compare with someone that even has 3 ponds. In what sense? That the size of the pond or that 1 pond, that person may put 10,000 inside 1 pond because of it's a big size. So and you see some with 3 ponds, you now see you have 2,000 figure or juvenile, like another 2,000. At the end of the day, you now be thinking that okay, but this one has 3 ponds, but this one has 1 point. At the end of the day, even the cost of production of that 10,000 will be higher than those people who has who have 3 ponds. Okay. So it depends. When you talk about the scale, you look at it in terms of in terms of the size of the pond and the number of the ponds.
Number of
stocking. Yes, that's how you look at the scale.
Okay.
So in Kwara State, you can say is a large scale because when you see even in your environment when you are doing it, when you see a lot of people, you hardly see people. It's not that you have definitely we have. Hardly see people with 1 or 2 ponds. At least the minimum you will see even for one person like 5, 7, 10. Even you see some people they even have like 25, 30 ponds.
Wow.
The height is a very big one.
As you are hearing, doctor, please bring your pounds, bring your dollars, bring your euros.
So because
come and invest.
Invest
in Nigeria.
What you do in 1 point, yes. The same thing you do in 2 points.
Yeah,
3 points.
It's the same management practice.
Same management practice.
It's just to replicate it and keep it.
That's just
and you know the beauty with investing in this value chain in Nigeria is that we have a lot of graduates that are there looking for jobs. Current statistics based on this where you look at, we have over 40 million youths looking for job, not properly employed, doing hovering in between cyclical unemployment, structural and employment like that. Some don't even have anything to do. So imagine having a graduate. When you do you talk to us a little about the profitability. Let's say you are just going to pay him the minimum wage per month for 6 months. That gives you around 420,000. And of course, if you now do 4 more ponds, I think a kg of fish is already around 1.5 now.
A kg? Not at all. It's more than that now.
Okay.
It depends on the area you are getting. A kg now is around 4,000, 5,000.
Okay, so let me quickly do maths.
Do it.
Let me do
maths. It's expensive because the cost of feed now is expensive. So let's say you have to jack it up as well.
Okay, let's say you have a stock of 10,000 gross stock, and that all amounts to
10,000 of fingerlings or juvenile.
No, now table size.
Table size.
They are finished. They are already harvesting. And let's say when you sum all, the 10,000 came to around 8,000 kg because of size difference, which it will be more than that. But let's just use that figure for the purpose of this episode. So 8,000 times 4,000. That gives you about 32 million. So when you take out all your operating costs, you cannot spend 50% of this in operating costs. It's almost impossible.
In fact, what will got more of your money is the feed. Is a feed.
So let's say you even do 60%. And 60% of operating.
You will get your profit.
32. It means you have 12.8 million up.
You get your profit. The more you invest, the more
you get. The larger the stock. That means you can't do small stuff except you are going to do. If you want to get big money, you invest.
Invest heavily.
2 years ago, 2022, right? Yeah, Dubai. The crown prince, they opened. That's 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years, 2022. Yeah, 2022. That's 3 years ago.
Yes.
They launched a program, a pond that 5 million fishes.
5 million.
5 million. It was a big project they did that time. And see, we have jobs. We have so many places that can do some of those things, but they are wasting. Okay, so talking to size of production, so don't be scared. Of course, if you have your pounds, you know what the exchange rate is saying today. So, of course, and if you're in Nigeria, you can still do. There are ways to cut around the cost. Instead of trying to build your pond, you hire, and there are ways you manage the pond. So by the time, and we always say in agribusiness, if you're a new entrant, test the waters.
Yes.
Do 100.
Don't put all your resources at once.
Do 20, 200 and all. Then I want you to also look at the episode where we discuss agricultural insurance. We are trying to also mainstream agricultural insurance as we go forward in our series of agribusiness talk, so that you understand that you can actually insure your farm and understand you understand your premium, understand the claim, what you have within your insurance package. So you know the amount of risk and liability the insurance, and so that if that means you now have to keep good records, and also that if there are any challenge, any eventuality, you can always get to your insurance.
One of the areas we need to look at is that insurance.
Yes,
it's very, very important. Unfortunately, probably we don't have more knowledge about insurance.
Yes,
that's what is killing most farmers.
Huge knowledge gap.
There is a huge knowledge gap. Immediately you insure your farm, although those insurance they will tell you your capital must
be at a level.
So in as much as you have attained that, first also insuring your farm is very important.
And this is where we call on, if we hope this episode goes round, we call on the president, we call on the Minister of Agriculture. People want to farm. Commercial banks, microfinance institutions want to support agriculture. But we need the insurance angle to come in so that we have a level of guarantee.
They normally do it. For instance, NISAL, for instance. NISAL, what they do is that what major thing that they facilitate all these loans and other things, they normally call it the insurance to come along. What they are just standing for you from the bank. Okay, don't worry, your everything is secured. You are here, these are the things they will now call insurance. Okay, come, we want to insure this farm. So they will now give them the percentage. So in case anything goes wrong, then you are not going to lose.
So more, I think we call on is if it's the National Orientation Agency, so that these jingles can be in local languages, in Yoruba, in Hausa, and Igbo, so that farmers can know. And also people that are interested in agribusiness space can know that, of course, put your money, there's a level of the money you will not lose.
Yes.
So, okay, doctor, sir, what other challenges? Now, we've talked a little on the risk. We've already dive into it. But what production challenge did you face, or can one face, and how will the person
go about it? Well, for this episode, let me put it that there are a lot of challenges and a lot of possible solutions around it. At each value chain, there's a risk. At each value chain, there's a problem. At each value chain, there's a challenge. Now depends how you manage it. Let me take, for instance, as a producer now. When you collect your juvenile or fingerling, it's very important to know your source of that fingerling.
Wow.
Because the broodstock they are using for you, if it is not a good broodstock, what is going to get from it is not going to be good. That's why you see some people, they will tell you that they had bad experience. They are not going back to it because the way the broodstock, both male and female, they are not that viable and they are not good ones. So it reflects on the offspring they are giving, that is the fingerling or the juvenile. You now say, they are just feeding them. There's nothing like growth because it's runs.
You went to get runs.
You always, no matter how
be sure of the source.
Be sure of the source where you are getting them from, and
buy from a reputable source.
From a reputable
that have
source.
Track record.
Yes, but you now ask, that I'm just going into it. How will I know which one is reputable? Then it's very easy for you. There are some, they have been into this business for like 5-10 years. They are into it year in, year out. Interact with them. Consult them. Okay, where do you get your fingerling from? Where do you get for your juvenile from? And there was something I was saying about fingerling. It's not that fingerling is not good though. Fingerling is very good. In fact, the money for juvenile, when you want to get juvenile, is higher than fingerling. So, but people now say, I don't have money to get juvenile. Let me go for fingerling. If you are going for fingerling, you should know that risk of mortality, you should not
go manage it.
Because it's higher there. So now they will now be saying it's wrong they are giving. And even if you have, no matter how you manage it, a certain percentage will be there that's called runt at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, the
Even
ones that
if they
never
want
do well,
percent, they will never do it. No matter how they
you
eat,
feed them,
it will no matter. But if you get it from reputable source,
yes,
definitely you know that okay, with good management, then you get it right. So it's very important.
So two challenges you have identified. One is that there may be incidents of poor performance, which may be due to runs, and the solution is make sure you get your fingerlings or juvenile
from
from a
reputable
good
source.
source.
Another thing that comes to my mind now, even if you get, you may even, you see, this thing is about getting it right. You may get it from a reputable source, and then when you stop, you may have a problem of high mortality rate. In the sense that when you stock, remember where they are coming from. You are introducing to a new habitat, new environment entirely. They need to like acclimatize themselves with that environment. So it's very strange to them. And the transfer from one place to another is a stress on
to
them.
the animal, to
So
the fish.
you need to understand that as well. What we normally do is we normally give them like say anti-stress in the sense that what we do by the time you stock, you know, it's a new environment. It's like human being when you want to see how that place is to okay, where can I get this? So by the time you put them that side up on one thing you shouldn't do, don't feed them at that moment. Don't leave them so that they will know
They
the
will move
environment.
around.
So the next day, what we normally do, in fact, what we normally do is that, you know, this our feed. There are some that floats, there are some that sinks. It depends. Make sure the one you are giving them is a floating one. So you see the way they are
The
eating it.
energy.
So we normally put, there's a drug we normally use that is a liquid in content like this. We just mix it. We put it in room temperature. Don't put inside the sun because it will denature the nutrients inside it. Put in a room temperature. It will be sticking together like this. You'll be using your hand to just so that it will be very dry. Remember, you have already stocked them. You don't give them to they are hungry, they are eager to eat. By the time you put it, and that anti-stress that we call it is bitter. You know, everybody that takes something that's bitter, we want to do. But the trick we normally use that you don't give them food, so they will become hungry. And immediately they see food, they will quickly rush it.
Yes.
So at the time you are feeding them, you are putting it on the surface of the pond. You know that this food,
Yes.
you start grabbing it and start taking it. By the time they take it, they will not. Oh, this thing is bitter.
They've already taken
They already swallowed it. They don't know, but that will make their body system cool and better. That will prevent the anti-stress they have gone through. So these are the tactics. These are the things that we probably put in place.
So you can have case of high mortality as a result of transportation.
Yes.
And the way around it is to take a good management practice, which doctor has already talked about, for you to now navigate that first 2-3 days before you continue feeding. There are also the cases of theft.
Yes.
We have a story in Ibadan. Yes, we had a story there. The man had a large fish pond and they were doing very well. He was even named the fish. So when he come, he will call one name. Say he called Mombo. He will throw his food. So he knows the one that always he was because he was already looking at his harvest. So one day he came and threw Mombo, nothing jump. Jumbo, nothing jump.
They have harvested before him.
The man jumped inside the water. That's a true life story in Ibadan. So they had to, people that were around quickly help and brought him out. They were arrested. All is still. Theft is a sort of. And how do you deal with it? You are farm within a community. There is always a cluster. Be within the cluster. And if you are not in the cluster, have security.
It's very important.
You can always employ security to check up on it. So there for want of time, let's go further. I don't know, doctor, is there how did you get money to start? Where can we get money to start? Because now people say, with this risk you are saying, where will I get money to even?
Mine is a different case.
Okay.
The reason why I say it's a different case because may God bless the person who gave me that money that time when I started. In fact, I borrowed the money. I borrowed it. So when I borrowed the money, I started it. After 6 months, I sold it. The truth of the matter, for the first phase, you know, it's a learning process. It's a cycle. I didn't make profit. But at the same time, I didn't make loss.
You were able to pay
Yes, I broke even.
You broke even.
The first
Perfect.
phase,
Yes.
I broke even. Probably because of the knowledge of agriculture that I.
You had.
So, but even the person that gave me that money said, when I reported to him, I said, ah, bros, the money you gave me, I'm here to return
Done
it.
it.
He said, okay, how far? How was it?
Mm.
Because he was very happy when I told him that "Ah, I want to venture
Into
into,
fish
because he
production.
said, you need it. Something that you can stand on your
The
own
own.
and you have it. The profit is there, everything.
Mm.
I said, in that house, did you make profit? I said, ah, I didn't make profit, because I didn't make loss at the same time.
Yeah.
He just burst into laughter. He said, I know you are not going to make profit
Mm.
because that's your first phase.
First phase.
It's a learning phase.
Mm.
So you know your plus and minus now. He said, yes. I said, I've understood a lot
The
now.
market,
The
the
market now it
production, how
works.
it works.
Now, I said, ah, so I want to repay you. He said, no, no, no. Immediately I give you that money, I have given you. So you don't have to repay. Continue with your process.
Wow, wow,
So,
wow.
so I said that's why I said my own is a different case. But one thing I see that people can, like Jai's Bank, for instance.
Mm.
I don't know if they are still doing this. I know they had it during
This
the
is
last.
free. This is free advert for that bank. We are not going to call any. That is free. We advertise nicer for free. You have okay. Since you have already let the cat out of the bag, we'll advertise Jais for free. We are not going
during
to
the
call.
last.
So I think let's call that non-interest finance. It's called
Okay.
Islamic banking.
Okay.
Yes, they have a whole group of them about in Nigeria, Jais, and about another 3 that I know. I think I've worked a little with them to do some consultancy. They are there. They give non-interest loan, not free
loan.
but it's they have different products.
They have different packages.
Mujaraba, there's different in Arabic words
It's
now.
Islamic banking.
I don't really know. It's non-interest. You can go to them with your package. They support agricultural production, and you apply. And once you apply, you meet all the criteria. They are quick to give you because
Yes.
they are
Within
giving
1 or 2 months, you
they are
get
giving
it.
you. So you invest in it. Once they see you, and all you need to do is pay them. And the interest, the administrative charges is fair.
Yes.
So you know, one of the things people will say is that they are not taking interest, but they are taking administration. Now, since I've already mentioned Jais Bank, I have an account with Jais Bank, and when it comes to when they even do the administrative charge monthly, the interest they put for me is more than what they have charged for administrative. That's I've operated the bank for over 2 years now. That is how. So sometimes you deposit, you see interest 0.0 naira. They don't charge anything.
Okay.
So, but monthly they can now say maintenance.
Maintenance charges.
But what the interest they will put, the profit they will put for you, not interest. Now the profit is even more than the maintenance, and also other Islamic products. Now, if you are finding, because going further now, to how to source funds, you can look at the video where I discuss extensively on how you can source funds. So, Doctor has mentioned two sources: pursuing the non-interest source, taking advantage of your immediate network, friends and family, formal financial institutions that are non-interest, and there are those that are interest driven, the commercial banks, the microfinance bank, and they all give you the cooperatives, they give you this facility. So after watching that video, it will give you an idea of what to do. And because if you now need further help, you may need a business plan.
Yes.
You may need a business plan and some other things you need to do. So just to, because for want of time, I also don't want to keep you, my viewer, too much. We've talked a whole lot about the catfish industry, talked, examined a whole lot, and I believe if you watch to this time, you should be able to begin to decide if you're going to invest or not. And if you're not going to invest in catfish, probably because of your risk or the kind of person you are, look to other videos where I discuss investment in various crop enterprises, that for oil palm, that for pepper, that for rice, cassava, and a whole lot of others that are there. Look into that. But catfish today is the center of discussion. We have an expert in the house and we have discussed it in details. So, Doctor, quick one, just next step as we try to wrap up this episode. What will you tell somebody that wants to, okay, I mean, he's interested, what should he do next? We know what we always say, do a business plan.
Yes.
So that you can put all your vision and ideas in paper. But what are the next steps one can take?
Well, I will sum that up in a story.
Okay.
When I was doing my IT years, when I was in my undergraduate days, I met one man and I said, I want to go into, I think, maize.
Mm.
And I said, you have been to this plantation for almost a decade now.
Mm.
Okay, will I make it properly there? Said, my son, one of his professors once told him that there are three ventures you will do in life. You will
Mm.
never go, you will never lose your money there.
Mm.
In as much that you do a proper, a thorough work and a good management practice, that there is always a demand
Mm.
in it. I said, okay, I'm listening. One, anything that is associated itself with clothing, shelter,
Mm.
that you not see people going naked, they must buy clothes.
Mm.
He said, anything that goes with medicine,
Mm.
like disease,
Yeah.
people will always find a way.
Fall sick
He
and
said,
all.
lastly, can you survive without food?
No.
You can't. So definitely, there's a lot of opportunities there.
Market is available,
There. So
and Nigerians will eat.
you must eat.
Nigerians
You
like
must eat.
shopping.
You must eat. You must
Imagine you
survive.
package your and get a good outlet, a good supermarket and put. You know, the way we are in Nigeria, say, you can see that fish in the local market at probably 4,000 per kg, for instance. But because of the way it's presented, you will prefer to go pay 6,000 and buy the same
That's what
thing.
we call it packaging.
Packaging.
A
You
good
buy the
packaging
same thing.
system.
Buy the same thing. Doctor, thank you very much for your time out of your busy schedule to be with us in this episode. Now, to our viewers, if you've gotten to the, I want to say congratulations because we're giving you a business idea that you can run with and begin to make money for yourself. But that's why I've been emphasizing seek expert counsel so that you don't lose your money and now say, why did I come into agri? And you can also learn from Doctor that he was able to break even, but that did not stop him. He went back into the business and, of course, became profitable. So please like. That's all we are begging you to do. Like, please subscribe, please share, please comment, interact, so that we can hear your views. You can suggest to us what if you have an enterprise of interest you want us to talk about we can also bring it to the fore and discuss with you. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you in another episode. Thank you very much.